welcome to the Betslip from Lost the Dressing Room. I'm Chris Bell, and joining me for this episode are Mike Thompson and Rob Stott. Lads, it's been, a couple of weeks nearly since we last recorded a video. Of course, last week, due to everything that took place with the European Super League, we just didn't get the chance to do a video for the Betslip, but we did submit our post and our selections on the Facebook and the Twitter page. And overall, we'll start with this. Not a bad weekend. We didn't have a losing game between us. A great, let's be fair, this is the closest we've got. However, it still wasn't the win, sadly, because of somebody whose absence is conspicuous.
Very true.
First of all, Mike, you didn't pick a 0-0.
I know. First time in something like 4 or 5 weeks I haven't picked a 0-0. Fantastic. Still only the one goal, and it was, let's be honest, a dubious goal if anyone's seen Carlton Morris's goal for Barnsley against Rotherham in that 1-0 win. Very, very, very dubious. I would say, though, because I went with Bet365 on it, I did get my payout since Gillingham were 2-0 up before Northampton came and drew 2-2 in Kyle's pick at the weekend. So I still got a bit of money out of it. So a bit of a smile on my face.
What did you put on and what did you get?
So I just put on a couple of quid, so not too much. It's just what I had left in the account, but I got 23 quid back from it. So absolutely happy with that.
Can't complain with that.
Exactly, bit of drinking money.
Make the most of the Bet365 thing as well, so that is a bonus. That's why we keep saying every episode that we do it. Bet365, the fact that they pay out at 2-0, always worth considering. So a good start there for you, Mike. Rob, your game?
Yeah, I'm just reflecting on Mike's game. They don't have VAR in the Championship, do they?
I mean, you know how you always hear, and people always say goalkeeper get too much protection. On that occasion, the Rotherham keeper got no protection whatsoever.
No.
I didn't want to get started on this, Mike, but it's happening now.
Yeah, so basically, to me, Mike's was a 0-0 by default. So, but yeah, onto my game. I was torn between two beforehand, and I went for Tranmere. And it was a late goal in the second half, but they did win it 1-0. I felt like they would do. They're in them playoff places. They Barrow one of them teams, especially at home, that they had to win, and thankfully they got the job done. So yeah, chuffed. Finally stopped the rut a bit, because I think my last game before that was Sunderland, which was probably about a month ago now. So yeah, relieved more than anything. So just, keeping up with the pack, I guess.
That's absolutely it. And for me, I picked Oxford United. They're at home to Plymouth Argyle, 1-3-1 in the end. They're 1-0 up, went one apiece, and I was a little bit worried at that stage, but thankfully a couple of late goals got them through it and got them the win, and me a win on there. So yeah, again, it's just keeping ahead at the moment for me. Of to be honest, you two, sorry, it's just the way it is. But then it came down to Kyle. And if you didn't bet with Bet365, which I didn't, it was Kyle that cost us Mr. 4 wins on the bounce to start with.
Yeah, the top tipster lets us down when we need him the most.
Yeah, a 2-2 draw in the end for them. And Gillingham were 2-0 up, hence the payout for you, Mike. And then conceded 2 goals at home to Northampton in the space for about 3 minutes, I think it was, 80th and 80th.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
At which point, Kyle, I imagine, was rather clenched.
Yeah. It's nice to be able to get a word in edgeways, isn't it, with just the three of us?
I mean, the part of this is quite nice to not have that smug fourth person in the corner. So.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You might be becoming that person, Chris, I see the smoke radiating out your face as we speak.
But there is we've got 2 more selections, given that we're only doing the Saturday picks. I'm only, as I look at the way things are now so far, Kyle's on 4 wins, I'm on 3 wins, and you two on 2 wins each so far from it'll be 7, 8 episodes I think we'll have done by the end of the season. So ultimately, it is still incredibly close with 2 games to go. The fact that there's only 1 game between the 3 of us, you two are level on 2 apiece. Theoretically, Kyle could be reeled in, but I think because he's only had 1, possibly 2 defeats go against him so far, he probably won't be classed as home and dry.
He probably won't. His selections need to get thrashed, basically, to have any chance of wearing a Blackburn shirt, which I just can't see happening because Crew 6-0.
That one is going to go against you if it comes down to the actual results that we need to look at. So as it is, me wearing a Grimsby shirt, Mike the Geordie wearing a Sunderland shirt, or Rob wearing a slightly contentious for me. There's a Bury shirt, but they don't take
it
could be Oldham.
I mean, I'm happy to put it out there if anyone wants to suggest a different shirt for me. The obvious one's obviously Oldham, but I mean, if you've got a club that's still in existence, because those poor bucket shaking people down the road no longer with us, which is deeply upsetting.
Tearing up, I can see, Rob. Whether it's happy or sad tears, who knows?
Exactly. I feel for the fans. Anyway, should we crack on with this week's selections?
Yeah, that is a good idea. So, Mike, we'll start with you then. Your selection for
so I've gone for Swansea. Now, Swansea are playing at home to Derby. Swansea haven't necessarily been on the greatest run of form. They did have sort of a run of defeats recently, but have come out of it now. And just had a couple of wins and a couple of draws, but I can see them getting the points here at home. They're sort of in the playoffs, solid. They're going to want to make sure they're on a good run of form. We know how important it is to have that momentum going into the playoffs, so I can see Swansea really wanting to win this game. And they're playing against Derby, who, let's be honest, are absolutely abysmal at the minute. Derby, they just seem to not be able to get a point from anywhere at the moment. And I do feel sorry for Wayne Rooney because I think he's taken over a team that was in the mire anyway, but they just seem to have no confidence at all. I think that they're quite lucky, Derby, at the minute, not to be in the relegation zone, just that the teams below them can't seem to pick up points, and Sheffield Wednesday had that points deduction at the start of the season. I do think Swansea will come out of this one with a win. It might be a close one, maybe a 1-0 or a 2-1, but I think Swansea will get the win. And the odds are pretty good for this one, to say how poor Derby are. So it's 7-5 for Swansea.
Rob, your selection?
Yeah, similar to Mike, I've gone for championship game. I've gone for Norwich. It's a bit contentious, I guess. You're pulling that face at me, Chris. I've had a look at the odds and they are better than your selection last week. So let's just take that little faith back, shall we? Norwich to home to Reading. Mike's just detailed about the playoffs there. I think from memory, all 4 playoff teams are already nailed on for the playoffs. No one else can break in. So Reading just outside, but they got nothing to play for now. They can't break into that playoff mold. So Norwich just need a point to seal the title, but it's the last home game of the season. I'd like to think they go out there and try and get all 3 in front of the stewards and whoever, I don't know who's in the grounds. The media. They'll put on a good show for the media. That's what they're going to do. I'm fingers crossed for Norwich. They're 8-13, which is obviously very, very odds-on favourites, but I need the win. It's simple as that.
Let's be honest, this is what it's kind of coming down to at this stage in your case. But the only hesitation I would possibly have on that is that it's that old footballing cliche of when a side has nothing to play for at all, like Reading, they somehow turn up and perform. But we will see, and hope for your sake and for Mike in a Sunderland shirt's sake that Norwich do the business.
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's it. We'll see.
They can win if Swansea do as well.
I mean, don't get me wrong, going into that last game of the season, if I need a win to get over Mike, I'm going to have Man City to have 1 shot on target. Or in fact, just one shot. Man City to have 1 shot. Phil Foden can blast it into Rose Z for all I care. I don't care. If it means my bet comes in, I'm having it.
Well, as I say, I'm not sitting particularly comfortable at the moment either. My selection this week is Wrexham. They're at home to Solihull Moors. Currently, Wrexham are 9th in the National League, just outside the playoff places, in that chasing pack where, with the games that there are still to go, they could very much make it into it. A bit inconsistent, really. They were on a really decent run, then they lost 3 on the bounce, now as it is, they're unbeaten in their last 3. I think they've won 2 and drawn 1 of the last 3 away at Chesterfield in their last game the other night. And as I say, the fact that they're looking to get into the playoffs, there's been a real buzz about Wrexham since the Hollywood owners came in. So, yeah, fingers crossed that Wrexham can do the business. As for Solihull, 15th, again, one of those sides with nothing to play for, really. But, yeah, I would fancy Wrexham. And the odds 13 to 10 for Wrexham to go and get the win. Kyle's selection then for this week, he has sent it through to us, and that's Bolton. So he's backing a side that he's already backed on a Betslip episode. I think 2nd or 3rd week he backed them, and they won for him on that occasion. This time they're at home to Exeter. Exeter, again, a side that there or thereabouts. They're in that playoff mix again, aren't they, I think?
I think they're just outside now from memory. I think they're about 9th, but they've still got a chance of breaking into it, though, so they have got something to play for.
Yeah.
But Bolton will be looking at the top. I think where Bolton are the 3rd, I think.
Is Bolton are 3rd, 4 points clear of the playoffs. Exeter are 9th, 2 points outside the playoffs. So, yeah, but both sides have got something to play for in this game, actually. But as you say, the fact that Bolton are, well, frankly, chasing a title, they're only 3 points behind Chester.
Right, wow.
So, yeah, there's a lot to play for at, what is it now? The Uni Bowl, the University of Bolton Stadium.
Yeah, Uni Bowl, that's right.
So
it's the Reebok.
Yeah, it will always be the Reebok to me, and it's one of my favourite grounds, to be honest, outside the top flight, just on the looks of it, and I've been a couple of times, great ground. But yeah, it should be a reasonably interesting game, actually. Again, far from set in stone.
I can see it being high scoring, but I think Bolton will come out on top. I can see both teams scoring, but Bolton getting the win. So maybe a 3-1 or even possibly a 3-2. But yeah, I've got confidence in that. In fact, to be honest with you, the whole Betslip this week, I've got a lot of confidence in it.
Well, the odds.
I think Swansea, the odds that you get for Swansea are fantastic.
Yeah.
Really good odds. Just like Mike said, Derby are in absolute free fall. They'll probably go out the season's over, because I think if there was another 10, 15 games to play, they'll be thinking they're going down here.
Yeah, absolutely. So the odds for all the games then: Norwich 8 to 13, Wrexham 13 to 10, Swansea 7 to 5, and Bolton they're 6 to 5. So when you put that together, it comes to just under 19 to 1. It's 18.62 to 1 through William Hill. That's pre-boost, of course, as we've done throughout the course of the Betslips. We've gone with William Hill just because they seem to be the ones that offer the best odds on the 4 folds that we've selected, at least. And as I say, there would probably be for a lot of people watching the option to boost that probably to maybe the low 20s, 23s, 24s perhaps. So well worth doing if you've got that option. But again, as Mike proved last week, don't forget Bet365. If the game goes 2-0 up, they will pay out on that result regardless of that full-time result.
Yeah, so the odds are normally worse with Bet365, but yeah, they have that in there, which is quite a good offer that they do, and obviously it paid off for me last week, so I'll probably personally be going through Bet365 again. But yeah, I'm confident and hope for this one. The games, I think there's going to be some close games in there. I think there'll be some close games, but yeah, I think they'll come out on top. And I think this is maybe the first time we've all gone for a home team. So that's quite an interesting one.
Right, yeah.
Perhaps
very interesting.
Just how tense and how tight things are going to come for us 4 between now and the end of the season anyway. Don't forget, you can like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook as well. Just search for Lost Dressing Room. And on Twitter, we are at LST Dressing Room. We'll put up the little bet slip at the end of this video as well. For myself, for Mike, and for Rob, thanks for watching. And we'll catch us next week for the final bet slip of the season, and then deciding selections as to who's wearing the rival shirt. Yes, stay tuned for that one. Check us out on social media. From us there for now, though. Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.